Hey y'all! So I don't know if you've realized this, but I've pretty much given up on my flip cam. So we're back to webcam videos, and I prefer them anyway, honestly, because they're a lot easier to set up and whatever. But that aside, today I want to talk about being tall in Korea. I've had quite a few requests for this, and I think it's about time. I know I've mentioned it quite a few times in my videos, but let's put it all together in one so that you guys, my tall girls and guys, can have an idea of what it's going to be like for you when you come over here. Or if you're already here and you're tall, then you can relate and be like, ha ha ha, that's so true. So the first thing, when I first got here, I started riding the subway, and I saw other tall Korean girls, like foreign girls too, not as much, but I saw some tall Korean girls, and I thought to myself, oh, so there are tall Korean girls, like, cool. Then that means that it won't be that much, like that hard for me to like find stuff and fit in. No, turns out that's really not true. It's kind of like judging a population by, you know, that one outlying like cray cray person who gives the rest of them a bad name. Not that I'm saying a tall Korean girl gives, you know, short Korean girls a bad name, but most Korean girls I would say are about 5'5", maybe less than that, 5'4", and they love their heels. So in reality, there are not that many tall Korean girls, so you are going to stand out in that sense. But actually, most Korean men are a lot taller than you would expect from an Asian country. I was not expecting to see how many tall guys as I have seen here. In the sense that, like, most Korean guys, I would say, are my height or a little bit shorter. And I'm 178 centimeters. That puts me at about 5'10" in the States. So I've met quite a few Korean guys who are my height or just a little bit shorter, and also quite a few who are taller, which is awesome. So I don't feel like so tall. Okay, but in the sense of like your everyday to day life, you are going to get stared at a little bit, I think, especially by children, but that's also probably because you're a foreigner, so I wouldn't take it too personally. The only time that I'm really bothered by how tall I am is by far shopping. Right now, I'm in the process of trying to find a winter coat. From Louisiana, we don't really have winters. I mean, we do, but it gets to like, I don't know, maybe like 40 degrees. There are rare instances when we have freezing temperatures in Louisiana during winter. So I have really no clue how to deal with the winter. And my friends are all just kind of sitting back and giggling because they're like, "Lols, you're gonna hate your life when it comes around." Especially since I'm cold nature as it is. So I'm looking for a jacket specifically. And when it comes down to it, I am too tall for jackets in Korea. Not in the sense of like my waist necessarily, but my arms. All jackets that are female jackets stop at about right here on me. Maybe even higher if I raise my arms. And during the summer, that's not a big deal. You know, I just dock them up and I'm like, look how fashionable I am with my 3/4 sleeve. But in the winter, I don't think that's going to work as successfully when I'm like snugly, cozy, warm, and then I've got this freezing piece of blue skin that is, you know, suffering from frostbite and all these other horrible things because my jacket does not reach that long. So I'm having a really hard time with that, and it's very frustrating for me, especially since even large jackets are not that long. They stop at like, you know, they're still like a little inch there, and I like jackets that can go over my wrist almost. And also the problem with large jackets is I'm actually fairly thin, and I can fit in Korean clothing because of the fact that I'm thin. My waist is like maybe a size 3, say size 2. Something like that, in the States, which is about 26 or 27 inches. And when I buy a large jacket, it literally looks like I've gained 20 pounds around my midsection. And that's really frustrating for me. I do want to be fashionable because Koreans are fashionable. I don't want to give foreigners that like frumpy reputation that a lot of us have. So it is a little frustrating for me being a tall girl in Korea trying to find a jacket. I've had a lot of friends actually recommend tailors to get just a jacket handmade. And I have actually started considering it because I've gone to Myeongdong, I've gone to Dongdaemun, and I'm just not having any luck with jackets, and I don't want to buy a men's jacket because even though Korea is pretty androgynous, it's not quite that androgynous. I don't want a blocky men's jacket when I've got a female figure, you know. So that's frustrating. Same thing with shoes. I've managed to find shoes. I found shoes in Myeongdong at a Forever 21, but that's a Forever 21. And I've literally only found one pair, and it was heels. So I think I'd have to go to Itaewon for that. But the thing about Itaewon is everything there is a little bit more expensive. So if you've got big feet, mine are a size 9.5 in the States. That puts me at about $265 here. You're going to have to go to Itaewon. You're going to have to shell out a little bit more money for the bigger shoes. It's a little frustrating, but at least you know where to go. So as long as you're okay with spending a little bit more money, that's fine. Or you can buy men's shoes, unless you're a guy, in which case, if you've got huge feet, then Itaewon. Okay, as far as like actually just being tall in your day-to-day life, watch your head is what I'm gonna say. Like for me, it's okay, but I've got a lot of friends who are really, really tall, foreigner friends, Korean friends, and they say the biggest thing for them is they have to duck a lot. So when you go into the subway, for example, duck. When you go out of like into or are off of a bus, duck. When you're walking just through the subway system or inside, there are a lot of low signage, duck. Because you're gonna pop your head otherwise. I've got a friend who's 198 centimeters. He said he's popped his head quite a few times, especially getting off of buses. So just be aware of the fact that Korea is built for slightly shorter people. So there is some low signage. The buses are a little shorter. The subways are definitely shorter. So watch your head. That's all I'm gonna say. As far as teaching is concerned, my students love the fact that I'm really tall. And one of my co-teachers is also really, really tall. They call him Long Daddy. They also call him by his height. In Korean, he's like 198, I think. And they don't call him by his name. They call him by his height in Korean, which I think is hilarious. So funny. And when we walk together, it's even cuter. Like the students just like think it's hilarious when it's me, him, and our Korean co-teacher who's really short. She's about 5'2", even though she wears heels like every day. They like always make fun of our co-teacher because when you put her next to us, like she looks really, really short. So it's almost mean. The last thing I'm gonna say is as far as dating is concerned. There are quite a few. Like I said, there are tall Korean girls for my guys out there. You just have to find them. And for my girls, there are also tall Korean men. And I've met a few tall Korean guys who have no problem dating foreign girls. So if you're worried about finding a tall Korean guy, they definitely do exist. And they're actually really not that rare. So if you just go to like the meetup parties and stuff like that, you'll find them. It just, after that point, it's just, you know, your compatibility, whatever. But it is possible. Basically what I'm saying, being tall in Korea, you just have to be a hunter. You have to hunt for shoes. You have to hunt for clothing. You have to hunt for your guys, hunt for your girls. It just means you have to look a little harder and pay attention to signage so you don't pop your head all the time. But it's really, really not that bad. I do not feel like Godzilla when I'm walking down the street. My students think it's a little entertaining. That's about it. So being tall in Korea, it's not that bad. As long as you've got a good sense of humor and a hunter spirit, you'll be fine. If you guys have any other questions, or if you have any winter advice for the Louisiana girl in a Korean winter, all my people from Michigan or Alaska or Korea, put it all below. I would love your advice, and I would love to answer any more questions you guys have. By all means, just comment or email me or whatever. Love your faces. See you guys later.